Hello, YouTube. Whoa. Sorry, guys. Anyway, right now I wanted to actually talk to you guys about an email that was sent back and forth between myself and CricketSong of Lunar Wisdom. I asked her if I could share it on my blog, so I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it on my vlog. Anyway, I'm going to actually give a shout out to CricketSong. Thank you so much for this answer. That was frickin' awesome. It really, really helped me, especially on my spiritual journey. It answered a lot of questions. And then I will also put a link to her her YouTube channel in the description. Okay, so anyway, recently I emailed CricketSong a question that had been kind of like weighing on my mind for a while. I was having some issues because, I come from Christianity, and in Christianity, the nature of God is fairly well spelled out in the Bible, as far as how, the nature of God is in Christianity. In Wicca and in paganism, it's a little different, and I was having issues with gods and goddesses and going, okay, what's the freaking difference between a god or a goddess and, humans, and how are gods and goddesses supposed to be like above us, or whatever, if the only difference is that they're immortal or whatever. And anyway, I had all sorts of questions that went on to it, and CricketSong's reply email was just so eloquent and so perfect that it really, it literally answered all of my questions to satisfaction, and for me, and I couldn't help but want to share it. So I asked her if I could share it on my blog. She said it was perfectly fine. So I have, but I also want to share it here. So excuse me for like reading, or whatever on this video, but I think it bears repeating several times because it's awesome. Anyway, here goes. She says, you pose an interesting question. Here are my thoughts and opinions on the question of the nature of God and Goddess. My belief is that God herself is transcendent, eminent, and manifested. Everything that exists on this physical plane of existence is a manifestation of God herself. The nature of deity is spirit or energy, an essence that cannot be touched physically but rather emotionally. God herself is all-powerful, omniscient, supremely understanding, and loving, as well as perfect. However, what is important to understand is that perfection is subjective. We understand these words from a very human perspective, and even then, we each understand perfection from a personal perspective that is tainted by our own human experiences. God herself is beyond this, though she is also of each individual human experience, because we each are of and are part of what makes God herself. What is different between Wicca and Christianity is that we understand that God herself is within each of us, but we are God herself as well, because we are manifestations of God. There truly is no difference between humans and deities. Deities are personifications of God herself, so that we can easily relate to the qualities and attributes of the All. When we look at immortality, we also understand that we too are immortal. Our physical bodies die, but we are reborn. Personally, I do not believe that God herself requires worship. Worship is not a word I use when I discuss my relationship with deity. I work with my goddess and my God. I also remember that I am a manifestation of them and treat myself with respect and love. Many blessings of abundance and love, CricketSong. So, I had asked about perfection and all that kind of stuff because my husband and I have had this conversation about he has never really agreed with Christianity's idea that God requires worship, because in Christianity, God is supposed to be perfect, and his view, and I actually, agree with this, is that if God is perfect, then the idea of God requiring worship puts a very human and to us imperfect trait onto God, and that's just kind of like, it doesn't make sense. So when she talked about the idea of perfection is subjective and, to every human, and the fact that Goddess is not only perfect, but she's also basically has every part of the human experience, all rolled into one type deal, and that we are all manifestations of her. That really actually made a lot of sense to me, and the fact that I understand, I guess, that God and Goddess wouldn't necessarily require worship, but that we work with our deities rather than worship them. I guess I don't know where my confusion was exactly now that I've had this response, but that to me makes it just that much more of an amazing response. The fact that, I feel like I understand it so much better now that I don't really even understand where my misunderstanding was before. It makes that much sense to me. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed her response, because I know I sure did. And I hope that you guys can get as much out of it as I did, because I am really, really happy that I can understand this the way that she does now. It's really nice. So anyway, blessed be, and love and light, everyone.